Hello and welcome to Airwave. This is the first official video that we're releasing to visually showcase and explore the features that we've developed so far. Airwave is currently in alpha and is constantly being developed, so even if you see this video a week after it was released, things might have changed. And as you can see, this is Airwave. This is the game right here. We got aircraft all in different airports that are heading to ours and heading between each other because not all aircraft are yours, which is great because we don't want all of them anyway. So first, let's look at the strip board. The strip board essentially tells us what aircraft we need to control, the status of them, basically anything else that is useful to us aside from the radar screen. So we got two aircraft here. One is an approach and one is blue, which is a departure, which means he's on the ground, and I can zoom in really, really far and see that on the ground, or I can hit page up and page down to switch the radar between air and ground view, which is just sets the zoom state, essentially. But we got this. I'm going to put him in approach as well. So the strip board doesn't actually do anything aside from help you out. So if I move these between, if I move him to take off, that doesn't do anything in Airwave. It doesn't matter. But what's most important is working to how you want. If I don't want the park state and I just want ground, I can do that. I can move ground down here. I can move this up here, and I can say ground takeoff 28 right. There we go. So I can rename, I can do whatever. I can even use headers as reminders and say, hey, like, you know, blah, 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 remind that runway 28 right is takeoff or something. But for this example, I'm just going to keep it simple. The next part is the radar, right? We got JetBlue 8253 that is heading towards our airport. This line right here extends 1 minute into the future, and at 250 knots, that's about 7 minutes to cross the radius of this airspace. So we do want to deal with him quickly because he is a oncoming approach. Let's do that now. I'm going to push down the insert key, which is the push to talk key. And actually, before I'm going to do that, I want to make sure that I'm on the right frequency, 118.6, and I'm on 118.6 because it's red. And I can also see up here that this is 118.6, and it's going to drag around the radar too. But there we go. And you can change the slots on the frequency panel to all the way up to 10 and no more than that because, you know, if I hit 0 on my keyboard, that's 10, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the number row of my keyboard that I'm pressing. And you can have up to 10 frequencies. I don't know why you'd want that many, but I just thought, well, you know, there's 10 keys on your keyboard. But since we're on the right frequency, let's actually verify this as well. I'm going to push down the insert key and talk to JetBlue as you would using your natural voice. JetBlue 8253 ident. And ident just means identify. Right, so in a second, we should see JetBlue 8253 ident, and it doesn't do anything. Thank you, demo gods. Did I change anything? No, we're connected. JetBlue 8253 ident. Unless I'll just say ident here. There we go, now we got idented. So, yeah, speech to text is run through OpenAI's Whisper model, and the text commands are either parsed locally based on shorthand, which I can show later, or sent through OpenAI anyway, so I could ask like a full text question here. But so he's coming up on approach very quickly now. What do we want to do? I'm going to pause it for a second, just so we can get our bearings. Actually, no, I'm going to continue. JetBlue 8253 left turn heading 180, descend and maintain 4,000 feet, maintain 200 knots. So what did I just do there, right? And TTS is disabled, so you won't hear it, and it's also muted in OBS, so you also won't hear it even if it was. But most important here, JetBlue 8253. He is at 9,000.6 and descending to 4,000 feet, 040. He is at almost 200 knots now, and he's descending and slowing down and doing all of his approach things. So, as you can see, can you guess where I'm moving him? I'm moving him to this blue line right here, which is the localizer of a runway. And what the localizer means is it's just a lateral or horizontal navigation that aircraft follow to line up with the center of the runway. And when that happens, I'm just going to do something real quick. Ignore me. And when that happens, they will line up and then fly the approach as automatically. Like, it's magic, right? And it happens in real life too. Even the airplane might do it if you're in an Airbus. But specifically for Airwave, blue is ILS, right? And, well, except for the departure, I guess. But this blue line right here is ILS of both runways, 19 right, 19 left, 28 right, and 28 left. And if you're familiar with runways, 28 might not mean 280 degrees in compass heading, but in us it does because we can cheat like that. So he's flying now, and he's going to intercept this at some point. We want to make sure that he's going down to 4,000 because this dot right here essentially is the minimum altitude of So when they're landing on a runway, the blue line is the localizer. Then there's something called the glide slope, which is vertical navigation. And when they're descending, you want to make sure that they're 4,000 feet or below, past this point, or even over here. So if they're greater than 4,000 feet over here, they're not going to make it, because this is where it crosses the 4,000 feet threshold, I guess you could say. So if JetBlue is at 8,000 over here, that's probably fine. But unless they are at or below 4,000 before this point, they're not going to make it then. If they cross that point and they're not 4,000, essentially is what I'm trying to say. But oh no, there's something wrong here. There's still dashes, right? He's not. We haven't cleared him to land. And there's two ways you can do that in Airwave. Because approaching and landing is basically the same thing. You can tell them cleared to land, or you can tell them cleared ILS approach, and it doesn't matter. But I'm going to do that here. JetBlue 8253, cleared ILS approach, runway 28 right. And he's then going to clear himself for approach. Well, not clear himself, I did. As you can see, there you go, ILS 28 right. And it says ILS right here to let you know that. And it disappears when you're not focusing on it, just for sake of keeping the blips clear. But he's turning not towards the runway, so let's make sure that happens. JetBlue 8253, turn right heading 240, maintain 180 knots. And that's, again, just somewhat of an arbitrary speed value. 180 knots is around approach speed, I believe, at least for America. And 240, that's going to bring him up and around. If he follows it, no. So I'm going to use the shorthand real quick, which is heading 240. And that's going to make sure that he does that really quickly. But as he's going to land now, I don't really have to care about him now. He's going to do his thing as long as he doesn't go around, but he's not going to go around. He's not super high. He's only at 4,000, so we're fine. We can now go to ground and talk to SkyWest 8087. SkyWest 8087 is going to EGKK, which I believe is London Heathrow. And he's going this way, and obviously, if you couldn't tell, this map is not to scale at all. This is just a development kind of random all over the place map. But the best thing we can do for him is to send him off through something like run 9 right or run 9 left, where he doesn't have to make that much of a turn coming out. But otherwise, he'd have to make a whole 180 turn coming out of 28 right or 28 left. But it doesn't matter. You can make whatever choices you want. So he's currently parked at a gate, and aircraft will show up white. When they're fully boarded and fully ready for you to taxi them. They will also let you know in the chat box there. They'll say, ground, SkyWest, blah, 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 call sign, whatever, at gate, whatever, ready for taxi. And when they're ready for taxi, it is your job as the ground controller to taxi them to the active runway, whichever you choose. It really doesn't matter. There's no buttons to switch the active runway. I could tell him to go wherever I want, right? So I say, SkyWest 8087, taxi to and hold short of runway 28 left via Alpha, Echo, Bravo, Charlie 1. So I just gave him a big list of instructions there, but he handles it like a champ. I say optimistically. There we go. So I said hold short, which essentially, should be obvious that hold short of runway, don't cross it. Wait there until I clear you to do anything else. You can tell them for any taxiway too. I could tell him hold short of Bravo, and he will. I could say taxi to and hold short of runway 28 left via Alpha, hold short of Bravo, hold short of Charlie 1, and then he'll hold short of all those points, but I don't want to do that. Another important thing for comms, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, is if I press down insert, I can tap the delete key, which will cancel the recording. So if you're holding it down and I say, oh no, I messed up something, I can press delete and it will fix it. Hopefully that didn't go through. Okay. I thought it glitched for a second. But okay, he's taxiing. We have one landing as well. We can see that he is 8 nautical miles out. Or, well, 9. 8.5. Oh my gosh, it's closing in quickly. But he's landing, he's on taxiway Bravo. So what's nice about the strip board is you can see exactly what state an aircraft is in, and also the segment. And in Airwave, we have this thing called flight segment, flight phase. I still haven't figured out terminology yet. We're in alpha. I'm allowed to do that. He's in the landing phase, and he's in the taxi departures phase. That's what TXI-D stands for. And then when he lands, we'll see that he will be TXI-A, which is taxi as an arrival. And what's most important about that is in the strip board, as you saw me do earlier, you can uncheck certain states that you don't care about. I could say, I don't want approach, and I can hit clear. Oh no, well, he's landing. I can say, I don't want approach or landing, and I can hit clear, and it'll kick that aircraft off. But I can click him again, and he'll stay on there as long as I don't hit clear again. But I can say I want all landing aircraft, and now he comes up again because the strip board says, oh, well, he's in the landing phase, so we might as well put him in the strip board for you because you've selected landing. Inbound is all aircraft that are, well, inbound, so if I do that, we'll see a ton of them. Yeah, there we go. We got all these guys that are all inbound. But if I clear hold on, if I close this, there we go. And then if I hit clear, you'll see he'll stick around because you've had him selected, and the strip board does not want to clear anything that you've selected because, you know, if you want to select something, it doesn't want to remove that from your view if you have it currently selected. But now we just have to deal with SkyWest 8087 as he's taxiing over. Well, we don't have to deal with him, we just got to watch him, really. But he will go across and he'll do his thing. And any minute, in about a minute actually, or around that, JetBlue 8253 will land on runway 28 right. And we have SkyWest 8087 holding short of runway 28 left is what we cleared him to do. But we don't need to do that because the other one, JetBlue, is landing on 28 right, so they won't hit each other. And collisions don't matter in Airwave. Nothing matters in Airwave, except... Well, actually, nothing really matters. The only thing that matters in Airwave is, 1, you're on the right frequency. 2, approaches always should land. Otherwise, they'll just fly out of your airspace, and you'll have to pick them back up all the way back, and then bring them all the way back, and all that. And ground will just sit there until you clear them to taxi. So you could let them sit there for an hour. You know, like it doesn't matter. You can delay as you wish. But anyway, SkyWest 8087. He is taxiing to runway 28 left and is going to hold short, but as I said before, he's landing, so it's fine. I'm going to tell him, SkyWest 8087, line up and wait, runway 28 left. What I just told him to do was again, hopefully this is obvious, but line up and wait on that runway, and he will wait until I clear him for takeoff. And takeoff will just happen in a second as I cross JetBlue out of this runway. So JetBlue 8253 is now slowing down using the power of his reversers and his ground spoilers and his brakes. Very fast, that one. This runway is 11,000 feet, I believe, and they stop very quickly because, you know, aircraft are powerful. Oh yeah, look, so now I can put them on ground, and I can say you are on takeoff, but I can, you know, say ground to gate, and then do something like that if I want inbounds to look like that. And as you can see, green for departure, or no, sorry, green for approach, blue for departure. But JetBlue 8253 is right there, so I just say, JetBlue 8253, taxi to gate Alpha 6 via Echo, hold short runway 28 left, then Alpha. Actually, does this work? I feel like this is a bug. I just did. Yeah. JetBlue 8253, taxi to gate Alpha 6 via Echo, hold short 28 left, Echo, then Alpha. That should do it, because there's a bug, but you won't have to really care about that. Oh no, it's even worse. JetBlue 8253, hold position. JetBlue 8253, taxi to gate Alpha 6 via Echo, Bravo, Delta. Get him off that runway. Get him off the runway. We want to take this guy off, but we can't because he's going to cross. And he's not going to listen. Oh, there we go. So yeah, inbounds, go to gates. Outbounds, go to runways, and then take off. So... SkyWest 8087 cleared for takeoff, runway 28 left. I don't care that he's going to cross the runway, I'm just going to pray that he doesn't cross it. Oh, actually, I can show you this too. JetBlue 8253, JetBlue 8253, taxi to and hold short of runway 28 left. So now he's just going to hold short and not cross the runway, and then just wait until further instructions because that's the end of his taxi path. And now we just wait for him to take off. Okay, now that he's done, I can say JetBlue 8253, taxi to gate Alpha 6. And notice how I didn't give him any taxi instructions. As I said, go there, because he will complete it to some degree where to go, which is fine by me. I don't care where he goes now. This is the end of the tutorial game that I'm playing, so it does not matter. Now, as you can see, SkyWest 8087 is departing now. Also, control shows and hides this. I don't know if I mentioned that either. But as you can see, he's leaving. Oh, there he is! He's past the 1,000 feet, which means we can see him on the radar. So, what is he going to do? Well, if you're an approach controller, all you're going to have to worry about is making sure he doesn't intersect with any of these other aircraft that are flying through your airspace. I mean, none of these are under your jurisdiction, but for example, you got to make sure doesn't intercept at all. But Other than that, he will fly his own flight route and all that automatically. You don't have to deal with anything once he's a departure. That's just to lighten the load of approach controllers, because as you can see, these are very quick approaches that are coming in, but since we have them diverted, they won't do anything. But other than that, that's actually it for Airwave. Again, it's pretty simple. Approaches, land, departures, take off. And actually, with this one's broken because I had this set up for testing because I expected to take him off right away, but I didn't. But when you park them at a gate, they will turn gray just like all the others. And once they do that, you just don't do anything and you wait until they turn white. And I think I can turn on normal just to show you what that looks like. And I will undivert these guys just to show you what that looks like as well. And we will sure as hope that all of our inbounds and such actually happen. I hope. And I will just cut away until that happens. And there we go. It is JetBlue 0626. What a fun call sign. Who's naming these guys? Oh yeah, it's Airwave. It's me. But JetBlue 0626, turn left heading 150, descend and maintain 4,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 19 right. So I just cleared him to land, gave him the whole thing right away. Doesn't matter. And now he's landing. And it should show up in a second. ILS 19 right. So now he's just going to do that thing. 19 right is there. It's fine. And then there's another approach. Look how quickly this can start to get hectic as you have now 3 and 4 and 5 all coming in. But I could easily just say divert them all again. I don't care anymore. So then these guys that are coming in will just fly away. And just like that, I timed the OBS pause button perfectly, because here's another departure that just spawned. As you can see, he said, hey, ground United 4919 is at gate Bravo 8, ready for taxi. So he's going to Atlanta, which is somewhere on the map over there. And there's a lot more aircraft now. And yeah, so we just taxi him as normal. So that's what a new departure looks like. He will just pop up kind of randomly. As long as there is a gate available. Same thing with arrivals. You kind of have to make sure that you have enough gate space open as you take them off, such that when the arrivals come in, you have enough gates for them to land at. But we do have one landing here, so we will need a gate there, so I'd have to take them off there. But yes, I hope this video has been helpful to you, and yeah, I mean, I hope to make a better one later, but this is just going to be like a raw, hey, here's what you can do, here's how it works, and here's a showcase of what the capabilities of Airwave are without, having to deal with clips and editing and all that right away. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I'm going to sign off and do the talkie thing right up until the end, until we cut away to black.